school teacher is celebrating a remarkable, a huge, and almost unbelievable achievement that happened this week. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Harvey Lewis broke a world record. The ultramarathoner ran, and these are actual numbers. Sometimes I know you watch and you're like, well, that can't be right. It is 450 miles in 108 hours. Harvey Lewis joins us in studio this morning to talk about his achievement, about what inspired him to go to this distance, and you ran already today.
It was slow.
Well, but come on.
No, honestly, thank you so much for that, and I'm just really inspired by the Brighton Center and also the people that followed along with our adventure. And I've gotten so many positive messages that are so heartfelt from friends who are teachers that have middle school students that say that it's kind of shifted their mindset on health, and other people. So I'm just so in awe about the experience.
That's one of the things you took this opportunity and took on this massive running adventure to raise money and raise awareness for the Brighton Center. Before we get into the run itself, why the Brighton Center?
Well, actually, it goes back to December. Mark Perkins, who has a podcast in Northern Kentucky.
I know Mark. I've spent some time with Mark.
So he challenged me on the podcast. He's like, Harvey, what's the most you've ever raised for a charity? And he had shared his experience with coming up with beds for children, and how he had this experience with giving a bed to a child that took it like it was Christmas, and it just made him feel like better than any experience he ever had. So I heard about how they helped more than 20,000 people in greater Cincinnati, and from all sorts of angles, with homelessness to getting their first homes. And I definitely just felt like, wow, if I could be a part of something like that, I would be grateful.
Well, let's talk about how you did it and what you did. You ran 450 miles in 108 hours. And if I understood correctly, it was in this particular run, it was on a 4.5 to 5 mile loop of sorts that you just kind of kept doing again and again. Is that right?
Yeah, so they now have over 400 of these backyard ultras across the globe. But the first one originated down in Tennessee with this guy named Laz. Laz has also invented the Barkley Marathons, which has a couple of documentaries on you can find about it. And it is like an iconic race where you have to complete 100 miles every 24 hours, but you have to do it by covering 4.167 miles every hour. And you do it for 11 hours on a trail with lots of rocks and hill climbs and routes, and then you go 11 hours at night on a road out and back on this rural country area. And it's a beautiful place.
Where do you go up here? Because it's one thing to talk about the physical toll, because everybody that I've mentioned this to, that we're going to be talking to you today, they talk about how with your knees and your ankles and just everything. But I want to talk about up here. Where do you go up here when you're out that long? You're essentially repeating the same 4 mile loop again and again and again. How do you do that up here?
It really is something amazing, because your brain can take you places that you normally wouldn't be able to go on typical days. After the race was finished, I needed help to get back to the tent, which was 20 meters away. But the way my brain, when I was out there, I had gotten locked into a mode where I could have gone all the way through that next night. I know I could have just kept doing that 55-minute loop, just getting in just in time, getting enough food and liquids. It just kept going. But I couldn't do that. Once the race was over, my normal brain came back to me, and I'm like,
sit down, man.
Sit down. What is going on? Oh, what was that? I didn't feel that earlier. Your brain can go places and that are quite incredible. And there are a lot of things I do to take myself there. So I might think about an important family member, for a loop. Or maybe my students make up note cards, and my crew chief Judd may hand me a note card, things like that. Or even I joke around about the honey badger, spirit animal. So the honey badger doesn't stop. So when I fall down, I just get back up. And there was in the daytime I did struggle. I actually with like 4 loops, or let's say like it was 104 loops in a daytime.
You just say that so nonchalantly.
I fell down a lot of times on the loop. Man. And I didn't really realize what happened until the next day.
Yeah.
That I had actually, like, I was wearing my road shoes on the trail, and I had blown out like the front of my shoes, so it created a tripping hazard. And I just thought that like something was going on with my ability to like perceive like like my stepping points, and it was actually my shoe due to like wearing the road shoe in the trail.
Wow. Harvey, they're telling me I've got a wrap, unfortunately. Yeah. I could talk to you all day. That's why Mark is lucky. He gets to talk to people for hours at a time. He doesn't have to take a commercial break. Thank you for being here.
It's been a blast.
Thank you for what you do. We're going to get the link up at local12.com so you can donate to Harvey's fundraiser for the Brighton Center as well. The last thing I want you to leave me with, though, what lesson do your students take away from what you do?
That I really hope that they take away that whatever they want to do in life, they can go after it and get it. Yeah, I have a student that wrote it. I'm getting choked up here, but she wrote a note card that if you can win this race, I can become a lawyer.
Dude, that's it. Local12.com. We're going to get that link up so you can check out more.
Thanks for checking out Local 12's YouTube channel. Click the links and hit subscribe so you can be notified anytime we post new stories.